Okay. All right. So, everything that I prompt is a suggestion. Nothing is mandatory. So know that if something just feels inauthentic to where you're at or just doesn't maybe feel safe for whatever reason, there's no justification needed. Feel free to pause. Feel free to take as many breaks as you want. I really, really want us to honor our bodies and our needs. I trust that you will do that. And I encourage that here. Yes. If you need to use the restroom, if you need to take a sip of water, if you need to stop, take a break, please feel free to do that. If you need to modify anything, I mentioned before, I'm not going to give anything that is body specific, but if a type of movement um, feels like you need to modify it, please feel free to do so. Feel free to ask for modifications if needed, if I don't provide the one that feels good for you. All of that is always welcome. And we're going to go ahead and go into our first section. We talked about why, what brought you here today, and maybe what emotions stuck with you. As we step into this, I want us to spend a little bit more time with that emotion and the why. So, what we're going to do right now, if you have access to, you can write, you can type, you can draw, you can sit with the emotion and like allow yourself to essentially process through it as if you were writing, typing, speaking. We're going to play some music, and this is just a moment of reflection as we continue to move through these emotions intentionally. And when I say emotions, I mean an array of them, right? It can be I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm confused, I'm happy, I'm feeling grief. Whatever it is, there is no specific emotion you need to feel. We're going to go ahead and play some music during that. And you will have about 3 songs to just kind of journal through, sit with, draw, however you choose to engage with this aspect. So, Emily, if you could play that funky beat for us.
nauseous and my hands are shaking. I guess that means you're close by. My throat is gonna dry and my heart is racing. I haven't been by your side in a minute, but I think about it sometimes. Even though I know it's not so distant, oh no, I still wanna reminisce it. I think of the night in the park, it was getting dark and we stayed up for hours. What a time, what a time, what a time. You cleaned up my body like you wanted it forever. What a time, what a time, what a time for you and I. What a time for you and I.
I know we didn't end it like we're supposed to, and now we get a bit tense. I wonder if my mind just leaves out all the bad parts. I know we didn't make sense. I admit it that I think about it sometimes. Even though I know it's not so distant, oh no, I still wanna reminisce it.
I think of the night in the park, it was getting dark and we stayed up for hours. What a time, what a time, what a time. You cleaned up my body like you wanted it forever. What a time, what a time, what a time for you and I. What a time for you and I. For you and I. For you and I. For you and I. What a time for you and I. What a time for you and I, yeah. What a time for you and I. I think of the night in the park, it was getting dark and we stayed up for hours. What a lie, what a lie, what a lie. You cleaned up my body like you wanted it forever. What a lie, what a lie, what a lie. You and I. What a lie, what a lie. For you and I. 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 For you and I, yeah.
This is the last song. 1 minute left to wrap up your thoughts. All right. Take a second to come back into the room, whatever that means for you. We're going to go ahead and move into a meditation. Moving through emotions can be complex, can feel complicated. So, props to you for showing up today to do that through movement. We're going to start our meditation with some breathing, some box breathing. We're going to do a 4-4-4-4. However, I do want to prompt that for some people, breathing is not meditative. It's not helpful. It can be anxiety inducing. When I was first told to breathe so many years ago in a therapeutic setting, it infuriated me because it just stressed me out. I wasn't used to it. Eventually now I'm in a different place, but you don't have to be. So if having so much focus on breathing is not helpful, this is one of those places where you can either pause or choose to do your own set of things. I'm going to start us off and then I will transition into reading us something while you continue, whether you want to continually count the breathing in your head or just kind of just step into your body. Yes. So feel free to get settled where you are. We're going to inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold for 4 again. So here we go. Let's inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Holding 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. Big inhale. Anna. 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3. Big exhale going. 3, 4. Holding. 2, 3, 4. Inhale once more. 4. Hold it. 2, 3. Exhale big. Hold it. Continue this on your own. I'm going to read something for y'all. Just go full screen here. This is titled Breathe by John Riddell. I read it last time. I'm going to read it again. My brain and heart divorced a decade ago over who was to blame about how big a mess I have become. Eventually, they couldn't be in the same room with each other. Now my head and my heart share custody of me. I stay with my brain during the week, and my heart gets me on weekends. They never speak to one another. Instead, they give me the same note to pass to each other every week. And their notes they send to one another always say the same thing. This is all your fault. On Sundays, my heart complains about how much my head has to let me down in the past, has let me down in the past. And on Wednesdays, my head lists all of the times my heart has screwed things up for me in the future. They blame each other for the state of my life. There's been a lot of yelling and crying. So lately, I've been spending a lot of time with my gut, who serves as my unofficial therapist. Most nights, I sneak out of my window in my rib cage. I slide down my spine and collapse on my gut's plush leather chair that's always open for me. And I just sit, 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 sit until the sun comes up. Last evening, my gut asked me if I was having a hard time being caught between my heart and my head. I nodded. I said, I didn't know if I could live with either of them anymore. My heart is always sad about something that's happened yesterday, and my head is always worried about something that may happen tomorrow, I lamented. My gut squeezed my hand. I just can't live with the mistakes of my past or my anxiety about the future, I sighed. My gut smiled and said, in that case, you should go stay with your lungs for a while. I was confused. The look on my face gave it away. If you're exhausted about your heart's obsession with the fixed past and your mind's focus on the uncertain future, your lungs are the perfect place for you. There is no yesterday in your lungs. There is no tomorrow there either. There is only now. There is only inhale. There is only exhale. There is only this moment. There is only breath. And in that breath, you can rest while your heart and head work their relationship out. This morning, while my brain was busy reading tea leaves, and while my heart was staring at old photographs, I packed a little bag and walked to the door of my lungs. Before I could even know, she opened the door with a smile, and as a gust of air embraced me, she said, "What took you so long?" All right. Feel free to come back into the room. And when I say come back into the room, I mean sometimes we'll get so internal, right? And so paying attention to the room around us, whether that's looking around the room, whether that's touching around the room, whether that's feeling into the room, just coming back into the room if that feels safe for you to do. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and move on into some movement. A reminder that movement is a loose term for stillness, small gestures, full embodiment, physical, what I just described, or spiritual, the imagination of the movement. Yes. So what we are going to do now is we are going to start with some swaying. Okay. We are going to play a song. Emily, that will be I Can See the Change. And I just want you to sway. And if you are unsure of what I mean by sway, I mean like trees that lean from the side to the side. Maybe they go left left and right. Maybe they come forward and back. Maybe they move circularly. Um, they're soft. I would say let's reserve any quick movement for the next song. Um, so that's what I'm referring to. We can go ahead and play that next song, which is I Can See the Change.
I can see the change. Come what may, I won't regret the day. I can see the change. Feel the pace of everything. Who am I, teary-eyed? Who are you in your life? Are you dumb enough to pass the time? Oversold and out of life. No, it's not for me anymore. No, it's not for me anymore. No, it's not for me anymore, anymore. I can see the change better than I ever could before. I am what remains, different in the same frame that I was. No, it's not for me anymore. No, it's not for me anymore. No, it's not for me anymore, anymore. Standing out like I need it now, like a fool does. Doesn't mean I'll adjust. Standing out like I need to now, like a fool does. Let the world adjust. I can see the change. Come what may, I won't regret today. I am what remains, standing here in spite of everything. No, it's not for me anymore. No, it's not for me anymore. No, it's not for me anymore, anymore.
All right. Now, the next exercise we're going to go into is shaking. But before we get into shaking, I forgot to give a little disclosure. One, I am giving examples, but I'm also processing and moving emotion as well. Know that you do not need to follow my movement if you are seeing it. I really want y'all to explore the type of movement on your own and what feels good for you. The other aspect is I am not immune to this process, meaning I also have emotions that be moving through my body and that are very stuck and have been this week. So if you notice a little tear come down my cheek, I'm fine. I have done these classes several times. However, it doesn't mean that I don't also feel a little something or a lot of something. So now we're going to go into shake, a reminder that it can be stillness and the thought of shaking. It can be small gestures. It can be the imagination of shaking. It could be slower shaking too, if the idea of shaking very big and fast makes you feel like you're going to have a migraine or something of those sorts. However, let's go ahead and play the next song, which is Bruja, and we will shake.
La querían bajar, tumba, la querían bajar, tumba, la querían bajar, tumba, 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 por todo lo que sabía. La querían bajar, tumba, la querían bajar, tumba, la querían bajar, tumba, 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 porque hacía lo que quería. La querían bajar, tumba, la querían bajar, tumba, la querían bajar, tumba, 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 tumba. Porque salía de noche, por cómo se vestía, porque fumaba hierba y a nadie obedecía, porque tomaba trago, bailaba todo el día, por puta, por monja, por fea, bandida. Mamá, a mí me decían la bruja. Mamá, a mí me decían la bruja. Porque salía de noche por cómo se vestía, porque fumaba hierba y a nadie obedecía, porque tomaba trago, bailaba todo el día, por puta, por monja, por fea, bandida. Me venían diciendo, me querían quemar, ya no tengo miedo, me quité el disfraz, hago lo que quiero, no me va a callar, pero en el intento de hacerme escuchar. Hinojo, borrajarte mis manojo de ruda, plumas de quetzal, hierba gatera, cardo bendito, cuarzo, un puñado de sal. Santa María, soy tan pecadora, ¿será que me podré salvar? Por mi culpa, por mi culpa, por mi culpa, por mi culpa, por mi culpa. Me venían diciendo, me querían quemar, ya no tengo miedo, me quité el disfraz, hago lo que quiero, no me va a callar, pero en el intento de hacerme escuchar.
This is a good place to get some water if you need it. Shaking can feel a little intense, a little intimidating during the process. That's also a really great way to unstuck whatever feels stuck. Yes. Taking a sip of my water myself. Whew. Okay. All right. So, what we're going to move into now is what I call emotion association through the body and or the room. I'm going to give us different emotions. And I want you to imagine how it feels or imagine how it could feel, the emotion I prompt. These again are optional prompts. If I say an emotion and you're like, I really don't want to go there, please honor that. Stay to whatever feels good. Um, and if it feels safe, then feel free to embody that. If you don't know, like if I give an emotion and you're like, I don't know what that looks like, I don't know what that feels like, I haven't felt that in a while, or I can't relate, or whatever it may be, something to think about is how do you imagine that might feel like? Or how might you want to imagine that it feels like? And once more, this is feeling that emotion either physically or spiritually through the room. You can imagine it moving through the room, what it might look like moving through the room. Again, these are the ways that you can move through this. I will keep my mic on and I will prompt out the word. And you will have until I give the next word to do that. And we will go through a few songs with this. Yes. Um, so, Emily, when you are ready, je te laisserai being the next song to play. We're going to start with sadness. What does sadness look, feel like? How do you want to embody that?
Je te laisserai des mots en dessous de ta porte, en dessous de la mur qui chante, tout près de la place où tes pieds passent, caché dans les trous dans ton divan. Et quand tu es seul pendant un instant, ramasse-moi quand tu voudras, ramasse-moi quand tu voudras, ramasse-moi.
Moving into frustrated. What does frustrated look like, feel like? How do you imagine it? Keep feeling into this. And now maybe afraid. What does that look like? What does that feel like? How do you imagine it? moving into overwhelmed. What does that look like? What does that feel like? How do you imagine it? How do you want to move overwhelmed?
There is a house built out of stone, wooden floors, walls, and window sills, tables and chairs warmed by all of the dust. This is a place where I don't feel alone. This is a place where I feel at home.
Move into anger. Allow yourself to be anger. Allow it to come out of your body. Allow it to be in the room. If that feels safe, this is the time for it if it does. Tree as old as me, branches were sold by the color of green. The ground had a rose then past its knees. By the cracks of his skin I climbed to the dawn. I climbed the tree to see the world. When the gust came around to blow me down, held on as tightly as you held on to me. Feel free to move into confused. What does that look like? Feel like? How do you imagine it? Embody it. moving into hope. What does that look like? What does that feel like? To a livelier song, what does love look, feel like? How do we want to embody and or imagine it? Maybe you're feeling curious. What does curiosity look, feel like? How do we want to embody, imagine it? And now let yourself experience and or imagine, explore joy for the remainder of the song. Take a sip of water if you haven't already. Come back into the room a little bit, noticing what's in the room, whether that's seeing it, touching it, feeling it energetically, if that feels good to do. In the next portion, we are going to move into word association. There will be no music for this. We are once more exploring movement. Once more, that movement is explored through stillness, small gestures, full embodiment, that physical experience or a spiritual experience of imagining it. Yes. A reminder to not criticize or try to perfect your movement. Especially for this portion, let your mind and intuition guide you and honor that. When I say a word, don't criticize the way that you decide to start going with it. Just go with it. Yes, allow yourself to explore the authentic intuition that comes in first. So we'll go ahead and start. And since I'm going to be talking throughout this, I'm going to stay seated here and I will be moving in small gestures for me. So we're going to start with the word shrink. Oh, sorry, no music for this one. Yeah, thank you though. Shout out to Emily who has been helping us with the tech issue. So first word is shrink. What does that look like? And now maybe expand. What does expansion look like? As we do this, paying attention to the emotions that may come up throughout the associations. How about rigidity? Fluidity. What does heavy look like? And now light. Fast. Slow. Reaching out. These can be literal, they don't need to be. Bringing in. Pushing away. Pulling in. Struggle. Ease. Groundedness. Flying, soaring. Restlessness. Stillness. If it feels good to find your center once more, feel free to do that. Back into the room, drink some water. So now that you have explored a variety of ways to think about and embody, whether that's physically or spiritually, movement, I want you to, for a moment right now, before we move into the next exercise, think about what stood out to you, whether that was something that needed more attention and I moved away from it too quickly for you, or something that felt necessary, a movement that felt like it was doing something, something that felt good, something that felt bad. This is your journey with that emotion that you want to process. We're going to go into free movement. We're going to do one song. And for this song, you do whatever you want. You don't even have to do movement. You can sit there the entire time. You can lay. I've done that before for sure. Or you can move, whether that's physically or energetically, and just allow yourself to experience it if you're open to it. So, Emily, if I could have you play Con la miel en los labios, which I believe you were starting to play, we will do this for the entirety of the song.
Disfrutamos de cada pecado, nos reímos y lloramos y nos vieron despeinarnos por ahí. Nos comimos a bocados, nos dormimos en los brazos de domingos de resaca por Madrid. Y perdimos la vergüenza y las llaves. Desmontamos cada calle del revés. Me pusiste la luna en las manos, te gané sin temblar de un asalto. Nos rompimos el alma en pedazos, me reclaman los años y no estás aquí. Me niego a borrar los mensajes, prender fuego a la casa no sirve. El amor cambia, nunca se extingue. Cualquier día la lluvia nos vuelve a sentir, sentir. Con la miel en los labios. Fue en el taxi del beso robado, donde al fin pude huir del pasado. No digas nada, tan solo recuérdame así. Escondimos las heridas, ya lo sabes. No encontramos las respuestas ni el porqué. Me pusiste la luna en las manos, te gané sin temblar Nos rompimos el alma en pedazos. Me reclaman los daños y no estás aquí. Me niego a borrar los mensajes. Prender fuego a la casa no sirve. El amor cambia, nunca se extingue. Cualquier día la lluvia nos vuelve a sentir. A sentir. Con la miel en los labios. Con la miel en los labios. Y en el fondo yo sé que esto no se acaba aquí. Cualquier día la lluvia nos vuelve a sentir. Sentir. Con la miel en los labios.
Another sip of water if you need it. We are coming to a close now, and I want to make sure that I send you back into the world with care and not high on the cliff of wherever you could possibly be. Moving through emotions can be difficult at times, and sometimes it causes us to dissociate. And as someone who has a dissociative disorder, I am told often to come out of dissociation. And for some, that may feel good. And we're going to do a grounding exercise for that, if you'd like to come out of dissociation and back into the room. And I want to acknowledge, because this is also an experience for me, I don't want to sometimes. Sometimes dissociation feels safe. Sometimes it feels like it's how it's going to get me through the rest of whatever time frame I'm at. So please feel free to not participate in the grounding exercise specific to the dissociation. However, we have something else after that that I think is of value to everyone. So we'll just move through this at a decent rate. Okay, so let's go back to our breathing. I'm not going to give it a count, but we're going to come back to our swaying and our breathing, thinking about our center, swaying, whether that's physically, energetically, from side to side. Imagine your inhale is in one direction and your exhale is in another direction. And kind of hold this practice. I want you to think about where the pull of gravity is happening for you. Where do you feel that pull of gravity in your body? And I want you to imagine that wherever you feel that pull of gravity, that there is an anchor that is releasing from that pull, and it is falling down the center of the earth into the core, and it's secure. It's anchored pretty secure. I want you to think about that as you sway and you breathe, and as you feel that pull of gravity. You are here if that feels safe to do. I want you to imagine that pull of gravity through the rest of your being, whether, again, that's physically or energetically. Feel that pull throughout you. Feel it grounding you in this space. I want you to go ahead and think about the emotion that you've processed today. I would like for you to imagine it throughout your being, from wherever that pull is. I want you to imagine yourself collecting that emotion as if it were, I don't know, something inside of your body, like some glitter or some sorts, shimmery essence. And it's moving up your body, and it is coming up through your head, and it is collecting above the crown of your head, and it is in the air above you. And now I want you to imagine, as it floats there, that there is a flower in front of you. Whatever flower you like. I know a lot of people like roses. I like tulips. I want you to give that flower a color. Don't question it. Whatever came up first, that's the color it needs to be. And I want you to imagine that floating, shimmery energy, emotion that you moved. I want you to imagine sending it into that flower. It's going into the flower. The flower is holding that emotion. It doesn't mean that you don't have access to that emotion, but we're moving it, yes? And it's transforming it if that feels good. And now I want you to imagine that, like a beautiful supernova, this flower explodes into shimmery beauty, and you're able to reabsorb the energy. And now it feels nourishing. Yes, it comes back into your body. And whenever you're ready, feel free to come back into the room, whether that is through visually looking around, whether that is through feeling around you. Remembering that you're in this room and that we're here together and we just had this experience. Once more, if that feels safe to do so. And then when you're ready, feel free to take a sip of water. All right. For the last portion of our series, we are going to do something that I like to call intentional rest. I think in this hustle and bustle, pick yourself up by your bootstraps world, we are trained and conditioned to not rest, that you have to earn rest, that rest is equivalent to laziness, which we know it's not. And we don't need to deserve rest. We already deserve rest. And it can feel hard to lean into rest sometimes. So, for that reason, we are going to have some intentional rest right now. I'm just going to check my song length that I was thinking so that I know how many we're doing. We're going to do one song.
This is Emily. Just a
Yes.
quick question came in the chat. I want to make sure you
Yes.
get a chance to respond to it.
Oh, thank you.
Where does the exploding flower visual come from? It said it's my second time hearing it, and it's so whimsical to me with a emoji and a big old heart.
Yeah, I actually got that from someone else. I in 2020 was going through a lot, and I had a friend who does energy readings, and she started doing those for me during the pandemic pretty frequently. And it was a practice that she had towards the end of our readings. And it was so powerful and impactful for me. And it was a really great way for me to like kind of close it up. I've heard it in some other places too, but that's where I got it from. I was from a friend who does these readings. But yes, so we're going to move into intentional rest, like space to a supernova. Yeah. As we were saying that, I thought of supernova. We're going to move into this intentional rest. The instructions for rest is do nothing. Please do not touch your phone. Don't touch it. Don't look at the TV. You can sit, you can lay, you can whatever feels good for you, whatever is accessible to you. I just want you to rest. Okay. And we're going to do this for one song. Emily, it will be the song titled Healing. Here we go.
I don't wanna be here every day. It's kinda late for me to switch the page. Will I feel it when I hit the pavement? On the edge and I'm just stuck debating. Wanna go home. seem like an occupation. Rainy days seem like the everyday shit. So I ask myself, am I for sure? Am I enough? 'Cause I might just go when times get tough, but I can't let go when I'm healing, when I'm healing, when I'm healing.
I didn't wanna be here anyway. It's kinda late for me to switch the play. I pack my bags and then I hit the pavement. This depression's just an occupation. I wanna go home, wanna go home. Up and down, I'm always switching places. My reflection always loves to hate me. That's when I ask myself,
Am I for sure? Am I enough? 'Cause I might just go when times get tough, but I can't let go when I'm healing, when I'm healing, when I'm healing. I can't let go when my faith gets too.
All right. Well, a few things I'd like to say before I do like my announcement closes is I want to invite you to think about some aftercare after this session. Make sure that you stay hydrated, drink a lot of water, make sure that you are snacking, eating, moving. Emotion through the body can feel very overwhelming. It can feel like an array of things, but that's one that just came to my head. Um, Allow yourself some more rest today. Yeah, especially if the experience felt intense for you. And sometimes it takes a while for the way that you felt about what we just did to surface. And we also all handle it different. Taking a nice hot shower is a good suggestion too. Um, I personally am gifts is my love language, so I like to go get myself a little sweet treat, which I will likely do later today. But thank you guys so much. It was so lovely to have you guys here for another workshop. I so deeply enjoy doing these. I have so many offerings. I will drop my email and my Instagram in the chat because if you want to keep up with all of my offerings, I teach an array of dance classes. Friday, I teach at In Lakesh Dance Studios, which I have a class this Friday. I teach an all-level friendly Latin fusion class. On Saturday, I'm starting a bachata class for absolute beginners. It is wheelchair accessible space. And yeah, if you want to keep up, please feel free to follow me on Instagram. You can also shoot me an email if you want to join my newsletter, where I send out monthly newsletters of all of my offerings that month. That's another good way to keep up with me. And then Emily can share the playlist with y'all in case you guys were interested in having that. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much, Supernova. I'm just seeing lots of love pouring in for you and what the space you created for us in the chat. So I really appreciate it. Everyone, we just real quick announcements while we wrap up. This was a program of the Disability Cultural Center, which is made possible by San Francisco's human service agencies, Department of Disability and Aging Services. And a little bit like KQED, we do those, annoying kind of asking for money. This is our time of year where we have to ask you to fill out our annual survey. So I'm going to drop that link in the chat. We're sending it on our newsletter. We're annoying with it. It's because that gives us the funding to keep offering amazing programs like this. So please, please, especially if you're in the Bay Area, take a moment to fill that out. Thank you to our Access team, and thank you to all of you who are with us. It was great to spend the rest of the day with you. Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.